The empty space around us might not be empty at all. It could be buzzing with awareness. From quantum physics to consciousness theories, we're exploring the mind-bending possibility that the vacuum of space itself might be conscious. Let's explore something amazing: the quantum vacuum. While we might think of space as totally empty, it's actually full of activity at the tiniest scales. Imagine a pot of water that looks still on the surface but is actually bubbling with countless tiny movements underneath. That's similar to how the quantum vacuum works. Particles pop in and out of existence faster than we can measure, creating a constant dance of energy. These aren't just regular particles, they're called virtual particles, appearing and disappearing in pairs. Scientists have actually measured effects of these particles, proving that empty space is more like a living, breathing thing. Even in the coldest, darkest parts of space, this quantum activity never stops. It's like space has an energy that never fully goes away. Now let's look at one of the weirdest experiments in science: the double-slit experiment. When scientists shoot single particles through two slits, something bizarre happens. If nobody watches which slit the particle goes through, it acts like a wave and goes through both slits at once, creating a pattern like ripples in water. But here's the strange part. When scientists try to observe which slit the particle uses, it suddenly acts like a normal particle and only goes through one slit. It's as if the particle knows it's being watched. This has led some scientists to wonder if consciousness somehow affects quantum events. Could the very fabric of space be aware and observing these particles? While most physicists are skeptical of this idea, the experiment shows how measurement and observation play weird roles in quantum physics. Integrated Information Theory, or IIT, takes a bold step in understanding consciousness. This theory suggests that consciousness isn't limited to brains. It might be a basic feature of the universe, like gravity. The main idea is simple. Any system that processes and combines information might have some form of experience. Think about your phone connecting bits of data to show you a picture. IIT suggests this combining of information creates a tiny spark of consciousness. Now, if we apply this to the quantum vacuum, with all its particle interactions and energy exchanges, it gets really interesting. The vacuum might be processing huge amounts of information all the time, combining and integrating it in complex ways. Some scientists think this could mean space itself has a type of basic awareness. While this might sound like science fiction, it's a serious scientific theory that's getting attention from researchers around the world. Let's tackle one of space's biggest mysteries: dark energy. Imagine the universe as a giant balloon that's getting bigger, but instead of slowing down like you'd expect, it's actually speeding up. This is where dark energy comes in. It's like an invisible force pushing everything apart. Scientists discovered this in the 1990s when they noticed distant galaxies moving away from us faster than they should be. What's really fascinating is that dark energy seems to be a property of space itself. Every cubic inch of space contains a tiny bit of this mysterious energy. Some researchers wonder if this could be connected to the idea of conscious space. Could this expansion be space expressing itself in some way? While that's a pretty wild idea, what we do know is that dark energy makes up about 68% of everything in the universe, yet we still can't explain exactly what it is. Let's explore quantum entanglement, one of the most fascinating features of our universe. When two particles become entangled, they stay connected no matter how far apart they are. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. Imagine two dancers perfectly matching each other's moves, even when they're miles apart. That's similar to how entangled particles behave. When you measure one particle, its partner instantly responds, even if it's on the other side of the galaxy. Some scientists think this web of connections could be important for understanding consciousness in space. If particles throughout the vacuum are entangled, they form a vast network of instant communication. This network might work like a giant cosmic brain, sharing information across huge distances. While we're still figuring out what this means, it shows how deeply connected everything in space might be. The idea of space being alive isn't new. Ancient cultures had similar thoughts long before quantum physics came along. Greek philosophers like Plato talked about the cosmos having a world soul, while ancient Indian texts described space as full of consciousness. What's fascinating is how modern physics is finding hints that these old ideas might have been onto something. When we look at how particles seem to communicate instantly across space through entanglement, or how the quantum vacuum buzzes with energy, it reminds us of these ancient views. Chinese philosophers saw the universe as filled with Kuai, a kind of living energy that connects everything. Today's scientists might use different words, but they're exploring similar ideas about how space itself might be more than just an empty container. The observer effect in quantum physics reveals something amazing about how space behaves when we look at it. When scientists measure tiny particles, the simple act of watching changes how they act. It's like space is camera shy. Think about it. Particles exist in multiple states until we measure them. Then they snap into one specific state. This isn't just about fancy lab equipment interfering with experiments. Some quantum experiments use such gentle measurement techniques that the physical disruption can't explain the changes we see. What's really mind-bending is that this effect happens instantly, suggesting that space somehow knows when we're paying attention to it. While we can't say for sure that space is conscious, these observations show that the relationship between observer and space is deeper than we once thought. Think about being in the ocean. Water surrounds you completely, flowing through and around you. Some scientists suggest consciousness might work the same way. Instead of consciousness being locked inside our brains, we might be swimming in a field of awareness that fills all of space. This idea builds on quantum field theory, which shows how fields, like the electromagnetic field, spread throughout space. These fields interact with matter in measurable ways. If consciousness works like a field, it could explain why quantum particles seem to respond to observation and how information appears to move instantly between entangled particles. Just as fish might not realize they're swimming in water, we might not notice this field of consciousness we're moving through. While this is still a new idea in science, it offers an interesting way to think about how awareness might be woven into the fabric of the universe itself. The zero-point field might be where the physical and mental sides of our universe come together. This field exists even at the lowest possible temperature, where you'd expect all energy to disappear. But it doesn't. There's always some activity happening. Scientists have found that this background energy affects everything from how atoms behave to possibly how our consciousness works. Think of it like a cosmic soup that's always moving and bubbling, even when it looks still. Some researchers believe this field could be the missing link between the physical world and consciousness. They suggest that our thoughts might interact with this field, creating a bridge between mind and matter. While we can measure the zero-point field's effects on particles, its connection to consciousness is still a fascinating mystery we're trying to solve. If space turns out to be conscious, it would completely change how we see the universe and our place in it. Think about it. Every space mission would be exploring not just empty vacuum, but a vast, aware cosmos. This could affect how we approach space travel, scientific research, and even environmental protection. We might need to consider the ethical implications of disturbing space itself through our activities. Space mining, satellite deployment, and even our radio signals could be seen as interactions with a conscious entity. Some scientists suggest we might eventually learn to communicate with this cosmic awareness, opening up incredible possibilities for understanding the universe. While this might sound like science fiction, it pushes us to think carefully about how we treat the space around us. After all, if the cosmos is conscious, we're not just living in the universe, we're living with it. Thanks for joining me on this mind-bending journey through the conscious cosmos. If these ideas sparked your curiosity, hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating science explorations. Share with friends who love pondering life's biggest mysteries.